Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Films and Fermentation. We hope you joined us last week for our 50th episode special. It's definitely the best episode we've done so far, at least in my humble opinion. So tonight we are moving on to episode 51. It is our belated President's Day extravaganza. Due to the fact that we did our depressing episode for Valentine's Day and did our special Mount Rushmore Awards for the 50th episode, we never got around to a President's Day episode. So we decided to do something President's Day related this evening on episode 51. So in this episode, we're going to be saying yay or nay to some of the most famous fictional presidents of film and TV. We are not talking about actors who played real presidents. So no Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln, no Robin Williams as Roosevelt, none of that stuff.
Truman. Truman? Roosevelt. That's okay. So he played a couple different presidents.
Yeah, who was I think Kenneth Branagh played Truman he played FDR in a movie once, and then you had John Adams with Paul Giamatti. So we're not doing like any real people played by actors. We are just doing fictional presidents. And when I say yay or nay, we're going to talk about them a little bit, and then we'll let you know whether or not we would have voted for those people ourselves. I honestly don't want to talk about real people because I'm not about to get political on this show.
Please don't.
It's not really that kind of platform, and I think it's easier to stay out of politics when you're talking about fictional presidents. We may also partake of an adult beverage or two this evening. Just to warn you all there. Yeah. So I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
I had to remember to introduce us because I forgot to do it on the 50th episode, and Mike called me out on it. So make sure you visit us at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com and drop us a line, or visit us on Instagram at filmsandfermentation, facebook.com/filmsandfermentation, or visit our website, filmsandfermentation.weebly.com. To this day in film history, Michael.
This day in film history in 1965, one of the most popular musical films of all time, The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, premiered.
Something that we talked about extensively on episode, was it 49 when we did the musical episode? Or 48, something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a few episodes ago. We did our musical episode, and I talked about how Christopher Plummer hated the movie.
Yes, you did.
And he starred in it. But it is a classic film. Yeah, classic musical, all-time classic. As much as I love Carrie Underwood, the live remake she did was not that good. So if you're going to watch The Sound of Music, definitely watch the original with Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, 1965. So that's 57 years ago. Man.
Yep.
God damn it. That's pretty old. What's your fun drink fact? I don't see anything on the notes here, so I'm assuming you got a calendar fact for me.
It came from the calendar. Yes, it did. I think I'm going to switch off every other week or something. Depends. But this week, I found this one. I thought it was great for this for our show.
Mm-hmm.
Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison were all home brewers. Barack Obama still is.
He's a home brewer?
Yep.
Wow. Is any of his stuff out on the market?
I don't know. It just gives me the facts.
Obama. There's no Obama brew out there.
Not that I know of.
No, like Barack Saison or
Obama Porter.
Obama Porter.
Barack, get on the Wentz bandwagon brew.
Barack Obama. What were the other ones you said? It was
Washington. There was Jefferson and Madison.
See, none of those really surprised me because you're talking about an early portion of American history. So I don't think there wasn't really a beer distributor on every corner at that point.
No.
Weren't both Washington and Jefferson Virginians?
Yes.
Yes. I think Madison might have been as well.
I think a lot of the original presidents were Virginians. Where are we at here? Oh, notes from last show. So I had made a comment about how there was a director out there who said that his three favorite directors were John Ford, and John Ford. And I finally found out who said the quote. It was Orson Welles, the man who lost to John Ford for Best Picture the year that he made Citizen Kane. When Orson Welles was asked in an interview who his 3 favorite directors were, he said John Ford, and John Ford. And then Mike added the comment that John Ford is a 6-time Academy Award winner. He has 4 Oscars for director and 2 for documentary. And he did 2 documentaries on World War II.
He did several documentaries on World War II, but 2 he won for.
Wow. So yeah, so John Ford, 6-time Oscar winner. And then so I have some like weird things here. So I listen to, I listen to a lot of different podcasts outside of our own, obviously. And I came across a few things this week that I thought were funny. One was I was listening to a show where they were talking about the movies of James Cameron, and noticed something very odd about James Cameron's films. They all begin with the letter T or A. Ready? Terminator, Aliens, T2, Titanic, Avatar, The Abyss. That has a T and an A in it. I mean, aside from Piranha 2, which he did very early in his career, most of his movies begin with the letter T or A.
Oh, he does his TNA movies, huh?
He only does TNA movies. Yeah, you would. Yeah, right. I just thought it was kind of funny that, like, as they're talking about his films, it was like I'm hearing it in my head, and I'm like, there's something odd here about it, and I'm like, wow, holy shit! All of his movies begin with T or A. So I got myself bringing up his filmography here now because it's going to bother me to see how all the ones here. But so we got directing. I'm just going to go with directing credits here. So we have Piranha 2. That's like one of his early movies. Then we got The Terminator, letter T. Aliens, letter A. The Abyss, TNA. Terminator 2, letter T. True Lies, letter T. Titanic. And I'm skipping the TV things that he did. Aliens of the Deep, Avatar, Turok, The First Flight, and now Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Did you say True Lies?
True Lies, yes. True Lies. The only one on there, if you don't count the TV movies, there's Ghost of the Abyss, which is a documentary he did, but there is the word abyss in there. So I'm seeing a pattern. Yeah. He does have a movie for like 2028 called The Informationist, which kind of breaks the pattern, but
he just likes his TNA movies. Come on.
Yeah. Wait, look at it. He's been talking about Avatar 2 forever now. Avatar came out in 2009. Right now it says Avatar 2 is in post-production for 2022. So apparently it's supposed to come out at some point this year.
Yeah, it's being backed by Disney.
And then Avatar 3 is 2024. Avatar 4 is filming for 2026, and Avatar 5 is filming for 2028.
They're all being backed by Disney. He didn't have the backing before.
Yeah, but I'm like, come on, man.
Well, they just opened the whole, a couple years ago, just opened, all of that up for.
Yeah, for the Avatar park that they have now, right?
Yeah, it's in the Animal Kingdom part. Yeah.
So that was something fun I noticed about the James Cameron movies, and then I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about Tim Burton's movies, and I found a bit of trivia that I had never known before, that I just thought was really funny, and it's that when Hollywood, whatever studio it was thinking of making a remake of Willy Wonka, doing the Charlie and Chocolate Factory remake. Apparently that has been in development hell since the 90s. And it wasn't until whatever it was, 2008, 9, whatever it was, when Tim Burton took it over and became him in a Johnny Depp project. But back when it was in development in the 90s, there were all these different names attached to it. Tom Hanks at one point was attached to it, and then Zemeckis was attached as a director. They had Terry Gilliam attached as a director at one point. You name like the A-list actor at the time, they were attached to it. But the one that I thought was the funniest, and I couldn't believe it was true, but then I looked it up, and apparently it was, for a very brief time, they considered turning it over.
Stage. Oh, sorry.
Even better, turning it over to Martin Scorsese to direct it, starring Robert De Niro as Willy Wonka.
Oh dear Lord!
Oh my God!
Could you imagine that?
The kids wouldn't make it.
Get your hands on my fucking chocolate river. I would give a limb. I would honestly sacrifice a limb to see Willy Wonka starring Robert De Niro and directed by Martin Scorsese.
You want to be in my river? I'll put your head in the river. I'll put your face in the whole river.
There wouldn't be any Oompa Loompa songs. They would just play Layla piano solo over the murder of every child in the film.
See them walking through the meat locker. And
yeah, there's Veruca Salt's hanging from a hook. You go out back, you see the
violence being pressed in the back.
You see the trash turning over and the trash compactor out back, and here comes Augustus Gloop comes rolling out. Like it's a world of pure fucking imagination. I seriously
would be played by Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
The Oompa Loompas would be played by
Joe Pesci would be all the Oompa Loompas.
What am I here to amuse you?
Yeah, amuse you. I'm making fucking chocolate here. You'd have what's his name? Who played the oh god, what's his name? Paul Sorvino. It could be like Grandpa Joe. It could be like the whole Scorsese lineup in that film. Oh, I was seriously. What do you need? What? How much is it going to cost? My left arm. Fucking take it. You're gonna have my left arm. I don't want to see this movie. And for our Mount Rushmore, I was like laughing that none of us chose Christopher Walken.
Well,
yeah,
no.
I think Christopher Walken, he's like the Washington Monument of actors that points you to the Mount Rushmore.
Are you trying to say he's a giant prick?
I'm just trying to say there's no mountain big enough for the talent that is Christopher Walken. Wow.
Study your math.
What a career. So I'm still living on the pure bliss of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory starring Robert De Niro.
Oh, we formed a circle of trust.
Oh.
I have nipples, Charlie. Can you milk me? Oh, so before we get too far off the rails this evening, what are we drinking tonight, gentlemen?
Well, I have two different beers I'm going with tonight. And I'm pulling from the Kevin file of beers.
Ooh.
It's a tasty sweet treat.
It's French toast.
It's not that. No, it's not that sweet. So the first one I'm drinking is they're both from Devil's Backbone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A brewery. The first one is the Maple Oatmeal Vienna Lager.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
It is quite tasty.
You don't normally see like the maple stuff in a lager. That's usually like a porter or stout.
They usually save it for porters and stouts and such.
And the second one is also Devil's Backbone Coffee Vienna Lager.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm doing breakfast.
Yeah. But I'm surprised that there are two lagers that are breakfast style.
There was a whole case of it's called the breakfast lagers.
Both are beers I would like to try.
Well, I will join you for breakfast, sir, because the big breakfast from Last Town Brewing Company in Millville, New Jersey, which I think I've had on the show before. But unfortunately, I was as unprepared could be. I had ideas, I had intentions, and I said, "Fuck it."
I had the same.
This goes through. I'll just go to my.
I had the same intention you had of going to like Yards and getting one of the presidential beers.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't have a chance this week to do it. So for me, I actually was I looked up like presidential cocktails online, and I found a few that they sounded interesting, and I had the stuff to make them, but I'm like, you know what? I don't really know if I feel like that tonight, considering how many cocktails I've been drinking lately on the show and how often I've been having trouble getting up the next day. So, so I decided to go easy tonight and drink moonshine instead.
Are you trying the
Yeah. So I said,
brew shine?
Here's what I need to do. I need to have a drink that says America, since we're talking about presidents and stuff. And there's nothing more American than moonshine and beer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bud Light.
Oh no.
Moonshine and beer. And thanks to my friend Michael for Christmas, I got a bottle of a mason jar of Off the Beaten Path Pathfinder Farm Distillery Brew Shine. It is a moonshine spirit distilled with grain and hops. So it's a moonshine with a beer flavor to it. And I wasn't sure, Mike, but then I took a shot of it earlier and it was pretty good.
Okay.
And
Because
so I said,
it was the same place that you almost popped your eyeball out. So
yeah, I know it's a lot. It's not as harsh as the corn one was. So this one is so it's a beer flavored moonshine, and I thought, what says America more than moonshine and beer, but moonshine and beer in a red Solo cup.
Red Solo cup.
I'll drink you up. So
You up.
I am drinking my moonshine, my brew shine, out of a red Solo cup right now.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Lee.
Yeah, it was
Glad you
very
liked
good. It was very good. It wasn't as harsh as I thought it was going to be. So that takes us then, gentlemen, to our main segment this evening: fictional movie presidents. Insert some kind of music here. So let's start with the first one here. So I figured as we talk about this, I have two lists. I have fictional movie presidents who I thought were good movie presidents,
Mhm.
and fictional movie presidents who weren't so good. And then we have a special mention at the end. So I figured what we can do is, as we talk about this, we can do a yay or nay. Would you vote for this man as president or woman, depending on the character? Would you, yes or no, yay or nay, vote for this person? So the first one I have on my list is one of my personal favorite movie presidents, Bill Pullman as President Whitmore in Independence Day from
We will
19.
not go quietly into the night.
We will not. That should be what I use for the intro. Then the Independence Day speech. Well, we're gonna march on. The human race will survive. Celebrate our
Independence Day.
Which is really just an excuse for them to release the movie on July 4th. But it's probably one of the most like high profile, I would say, like fictional presidents, due to the fact that it's such a blockbuster film, still popular this day. Still kind of holds up, I think.
I think my views on him are just tainted by Bill Pullman usually playing a goofy guy. It's tough for me to look at Bill Pullman as President Whitmore and instead of Bill Pullman as President Whitless.
Well,
or Lone Star in Spaceballs, or
yeah, Lone Star, Baseballs, or any of the other things where he's just kind of aloof, a goof,
Well,
Bill
he
Pullman.
could be the goof because they had Goldblum in it. He was the goof.
Well, no, the goof was Randy Quaid as the farmer guy who was abducted by the aliens.
I can fly. I'm
It
a
was Randy
pilot.
Quaid as Randy Quaid. Let's be honest.
It's Randy Quaid as Randy Quaid. He was abducted by aliens that did things to him sexually.
And just on a personal note, I want to get some payback.
In the words of my generation, up
yours.
No, I love about that movie is like, oh, you got your president. He's really the only leader you have left, considering the aliens have wiped everybody else out. Let's let him jump in a fighter pilot and go fight aliens.
And you always got Will Smith. I could have been in a barbecue.
What's that smell? That was an ad-lib line, apparently, because they filmed that in the Utah Salt Flats. And it actually has like a natural smell that's kind of like putrid. And so when he's like, "What's that smell?" It was the smell of the landscape around him that nobody told him about. But Bill Pullman as President Whitmore in Independence Day, I would vote for him.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, we got two yays and an A. Kevin's like, no, he is not my president. 2 yays and
But
a
he has the
nay.
Schwartz.
Yeah. Don't underestimate the power of the Schwartz. So we got 2 yays, 2 yays and a nay for Bill Pullman as President Whitmore. Moving on, Tom Beck, president in the film Deep Impact 1998, played by the legendary Morgan Freeman.
Look, I'm saying he's already on my, Mount Rushmore. So I think you got him as, yes, he could play a president. He'd calm me down. He'd be telling me the coming, and I'd be like, his voice is so soothing.
Don't worry, that the meteor would not destroy the Earth.
I have developed a system of tunnels for us to crawl through. They're filled with a river of shit. It's only 5 football fields, less than half a mile.
And come out clean on the other
On
side.
the other side. He is.
With the length of 5 ping pong tables. I don't so good.
I was so on board with Morgan Freeman being the president in this film that when people say Barack Obama was the first African American president, I say nay, nay. Morgan Freeman was.
I think you'd even get Barack Obama to say, yeah,
I totally agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree. So Morgan Freeman as president, yay or nay?
Yay.
We got 3 yays on that one. We got a unanimous presidency for Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Bob Thornton in Love Actually, 2003. His character is simply called the President. He does not have an actual name. He's only in a very brief scene in which he is meeting with Hugh Grant, who is the Prime Minister of England, to talk about some policies between the United States and England. And all you get out of him is that he's that stereotypical greasy American president because he sexually assaults the secretary of Hugh Grant that Hugh Grant's actually in love with, and tries to bully England around and all that stuff. And then eventually, because of the power of the boner, Hugh Grant stands up to him because he, harassed the woman he loves. Just based on the portrayal, he's kind of like I want to say like a caricature of like a Bill Clinton kind of president. In that sort of like womanizing way.
Yeah, I see that now.
Not in temperament, but just in like the personal aspect of it.
Mm.
So that's a nay from me.
I can't picture Billy Bob Thornton as president. I couldn't do it.
It's like Billy Bob Thornton's like one of those weird actors where like it's Billy Bob Thornton, but he can make himself look different.
Yeah.
And he looks presidential. He looks like somebody who would be president. But he's basically a caricature of all like the worst aspects of an American president.
Right.
Yeah. So he is a nay from me.
Nay.
Unanimous nay on Billy Bob Thornton. Julie Louis-Dreyfus in the TV show Veep. Selena Meyer. She actually starts out as vice president, but then by the end of the show, she becomes president. Have any of you ever watched Veep at all?
No.
I've seen clips, but I have not seen it in its entirety. No.
I have seen a few episodes of it here and there. I've never actually sat down and watched the entire series. I know it always got good reviews, and she won like 4 Emmys in a row or something for Best Actress in a comedy series for it. So I mean, it had its following, it had its critics and all that stuff. I'm going to call this one a no contest since I don't think any 3 of us have enough to go on to do a yay or nay on it.
Right.
So that moves on to Peter Sellers as Merkin Muffley in Doctor Strangelove 1964. One of the 3 characters that Peter Sellers plays in the film.
Yes.
First off, he probably shouldn't be on the list of good presidents. I mean, the film is a satire. He is playing a president who is sort of meek and incompetent, and the name alone is a joke. His name is President Merkin Muffley. You know what a Merkin is?
No.
In film, when they have to do like a semi-nude scene that requires like 3 or 4 a little bit of pubic hair to appear on screen. Merkin is a pubic wig. It's basically fake pubic hair.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
And that they refer to it as a merkin. So his name itself is like a joke. It's an inside joke in cinematography. And his last name, Muffley, just kind of also plays off of that. Again, Peter Sellers, great actor, plays 3 roles in that film. Satire about nuclear war and all that stuff. Yay or nay, gentlemen?
Nay.
Yeah, Kevin's giving it a yay. He's like, I got the thumbs up on Zoom here.
mm-hmm.
I forgot we can do that. We can do a little really thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't know.
Yes, but that's going to be hard for our listening audience to see that.
Well, that's why we got to point it out. So we get
multiple mediums, people. Multiple mediums.
Multiple mediums. Yes, we are on YouTube as well. I would say nay. Kevin's giving it a yay because he just likes the idea of like the pubic wig.
as a president, I should, or as president, he was probably a nay. So I should, there you go.
Dennis Haysbert, who I rather refer to as Pedro Serrano in Major League, as President David Palmer in 24. I mean, he's always in trouble, and he always has to have Kiefer Sutherland like bailing him out.
Is this the guy that would sell me insurance?
Yes, it's the guy who tries to sell you Allstate.
Okay. I mean, he could be my Allstate salesman or agent, but I don't know about president. But I've never seen him. I guess if he's taken such a leap from going to selling insurance to, ruling,
No, he went from being president to selling insurance.
Oh, then that's a negative. No.
He went from Major League Baseball to president to
president
to selling insurance.
So
say
I'm giving him a yay. Oh, 2 nays and a yay. Oh no. So here's an interesting fact about the TV show 24. The character that Kiefer Sutherland plays in the film in the show, Jack Bauer, is basically like a counter-terrorist, like black ops guy. He kills a lot of people in the show. And when you think about the fact that each season takes place over one 24-hour day in real time,
yeah,
that's a lot of people that you kill in one day.
Under the president's watch.
Yes, over the course of 8 seasons, he kills 270 people.
Wow.
To put that into perspective, that's 15 people a year for 18 years, making him more prolific than the average everyday serial killer. Of course, the number only includes murders that people see on screen.
Wait a second. The season was a 1-day period of time, right?
Yes, each season was 1 day. So it's basically
how many seasons?
8 seasons.
8 days.
So it was basically 8 days, yeah.
How many people did he kill?
270.
Wow.
They call that genocide.
Yeah. It's 15 people a year for 18 years, but 270 people over 8 days. 200. Hold on a second. Here we go. I got the calculator up. 270 divided by 8. He averages 33.75 murders a day, which when there's only 24 hours in the day.
That's more than 1 an hour.
He averages 1.5 murders an hour.
And you voted for the president that had that man doing that shit.
Hey, at least I know my country's safe. They got a serial killer working black ops.
At the end of the day, that's a long.
How was your day, honey? I only killed 32 people today. I was under my quota.
You'll make it up tomorrow.
Here's another one of my favorite actors as president, Kevin Kline as Dave Kovic in Dave from 1993.
Yep.
It's
I liked it. Yeah.
it's one of my it's not one of my, I would say it was one of my favorite movies, but it's a movie that I can enjoy when it's on.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it. The elements I like is he's the president I want to see. And he replaces he's a lookalike for the actual president who's an asshole and a shithead. And then you see him come in and you watch what he's doing, and it's like, I want this guy, as like for president. I just like the one thing. What was the one thing? He has a meeting with his cabinet and he goes, "Are we really spending this much money to, support people's confidence in cars that they already own?
Yeah.
Do we really need to invest that much money in something that they've already bought?"
There's a great scene where he brings in Charles Grodin plays his best friend, and he's an accountant, and together they sit down and figure out a way to balance the budget.
Mhm.
And so like that's a good scene in the film, and it's funny. It's basically a modern take on The Prince and the Pauper.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's replacing the actual president, and turns out to be a better president than the actual president was, because he's a regular guy just looking out for the people.
Yep.
Good role from Sigourney Weaver in the film.
Yeah.
I think is it Ben Kingsley? I think Ben Kingsley that plays his vice president. Got a very
Kingsley
small,
is
very small role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And Frank Langella.
Frank Langella is the guy trying to use him as the cover for the president who's in a coma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Dave, 1993. Wow, man. God. Yeah, he's a yay from me. He was a yay from both of you guys, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, triple yay on Kevin Kline as Dave Kovich. Harrison Ford as James Marshall in Air Force One, 1997.
Get off
my
plane.
plane. Something about grumpy Harrison Ford as president just warms my heart.
Well, everybody wants a president that can kick some ass.
Yeah, everyone's a president who's not afraid to throw Gary Oldman off their plane.
Look,
People
another one from
of Gary Oldman.
Yeah, it's such a hammy film.
Mm-hmm.
You watch it now. I mean, this was 1997, so it's pretty old, and it's pretty campy, man. It's definitely a '90s action flick.
Yeah.
But I love it, man. It's a movie I can watch when it's on, and he's great in it. Gary Oldman, of course, is Gary Oldman.
That's someone we didn't put in our Mount Rushmore was Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, yeah. Harrison Ford at one point, I don't know if he is anymore, but at one time he was the most profitable actor in the history of Hollywood.
Yeah.
He was in the Star Wars franchise, the Indiana Jones franchise, and then you think about all Blade Runner and all the other films that he was in. That his movies, his movies made the most money in the history of Hollywood.
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. We'd say Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
He
Imagine
did.
Harrison Ford as Willy Wonka. I think we just do an episode of actors as Willy Wonka and what they would be.
The field would have been great if Harrison.
Get out of my factory.
The field would have been great.
The field would have been great with Harrison. He wouldn't let those goats kill him. Those sheep. He would have. Get off my cliff.
He would have saved the sheep too.
Every movie is just Harrison Ford yelling at people to get off something.
Get off my factory floor.
Get off my factory floor. Get off my cliff. Get off my plane.
Get off my Millennium Falcon.
Oh man. That's episode 52. Actors as Willy Wonka. Martin Sheen as Josiah Jed Bartlett in The West Wing, 1999 to 2006. I know Adrian's got the upload on this one, right?
Oh yeah, she's got the whole series. Though there is a scene that I love that they talk about. He was talking. Martin Sheen was talking to. Was the character's name was Charlie, his body man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he was talking about James Bond and how he makes his drink. He orders a shaken martini, which cracks the ice. So he's ordering a weak martini and being snooty about it.
I always like that scene of him in the church after the woman gets killed in the car
After the secretary dies in the car accident.
Yeah.
Brand new car. Yeah, that's heart-wrenching, His conversation with God. I mean, I enjoyed the show. I thought he made a very good president. I liked I mean, it wasn't a president without flaws. He had flaws. He
Oh,
had
yeah.
several, you know, and it, you see him deal with them, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
So
I got a yay on Martin
I
Sheen.
got a yay for it.
And it's funny because it's kind of leading into my next one here, which is Michael Douglas as President Shepard in The American President in 1995, which is funny because Martin Sheen plays the vice president in that film.
Yes.
no,
No, he was chief of staff.
staff.
Was he chief of staff? I thought he was the
Chief of
VP.
staff.
No,
Mhm.
okay.
Chief of staff.
He still got a promotion in the West.
Oh no, yeah.
I thought he was the VP. Did
Mhm.
they ever mention the VP in the movie then?
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah, because I don't know. I always assumed he was the VP because he was always with,
These were both done by what's his name?
this is
Like,
what, the American President?
The American President and The West Wing were creations of
Was it Aaron Sorkin?
Yeah, Aaron Sorkin. Yeah.
Aaron Sorkin, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and you could tell by the dialogue when it's an Aaron
you
Sorkin.
can tell by the dialogue, you
Yep.
can tell by Mhm.
So it was, Aaron Sorkin did both of them, yeah.
Mhm.
You can tell. And you got an over the top performance from what's his face in it as the Republican presidential candidate. What's the actor's name? Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes.
Doing like
Yeah.
his over the top performance of what a Republican president candidate is.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I do appreciate the fact that he plays a president who is struggling with decisions such as dropping a bomb on another country,
Mhm.
raising a daughter on his own, and still not afraid to go out there every now and then and get his Zen wet with the net bending.
Wow.
That shows you how 90s that film is, that the whole basis for them decrying his presidency is the fact that he's having a relationship with a woman. Like the president can't date.
I know, because single presidents happen, and they get points and get voted in, like Bill Pullman and Michael Douglas.
Yeah, but Bill Pullman's wife gets killed later in the film. She's not dead when he is president.
True enough.
Not dead yet.
Not dead yet, yeah.
I'm not dead yet.
But
I feel like dancing.
I do like the film. I love the speech he gives at the end. It's well acted. It's definitely, you could tell, like you said, The West Wing. It's an Aaron Sorkin joint.
Yeah.
No, he gets a yay from me.
Yay.
Yay. 3 yays on Michael Douglas. Jack Nicholson as President James Dale in Mars Attacks, 1996. This is a Tim Burton film. Definitely a Tim Burton film. Jack Nicholson plays 3 roles in this film. One of them is the president, and there's a great scene where like he tries to talk peace with the aliens, and they end up like killing him. I think disintegrate him or whatever. But he plays like this. He's like the Merkin Muffley president of Dr. Strangelove in Mars Attacks. It's funny. It's a that's a acquired taste, that movie.
It is.
You have to be a Tim Burton fan.
Yeah.
It's his performance doesn't warrant the negative thumb, but it's the job of the president that he.
I love how I think they kill the aliens with Hank Williams.
Now, would I want Jack Nicholson as president? Maybe, but him as James Dale? No.
I don't know. You talk about womenizers as president. Oh God.
Up in the Lincoln bedroom right now. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
He met Jennifer Lawrence on a red carpet event one time and told her she looked like his future girlfriend.
Oh,
and I'm like, he's like 172 and she's like 28.
Hey.
I'm giving him a nay.
I'm giving him an A.
I love Jack Nicholson, but not as my president. President Thomas Wilson, played by Danny Glover in 2012, which came out in 2009.
I did not see this movie, so I can't.
So
but I forgot he was in it.
Yeah, this is one of those Roland Emmerich end of the world joints, like Independence Day and Day After Tomorrow, and the new one he has coming out about the moon falling on the Earth.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a big role in it, Danny Glover, and it's mostly like at some point in the film, I think it's 2012, I think, where they have like the ships that they're building to take people off the Earth before it gets destroyed or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It sucks.
Well, 2012 was supposed to be the end of the Mayan calendar. We were all supposed to
Yeah,
die.
yeah. So everybody was on that bandwagon back then. I'm gonna have to give that one a nay, just because it's a weak film. Anybody have seen this movie? This is a little known Wesley Snipes film.
I have.
Next one's Murder at 1600.
1600. It's actually a really good movie.
It's actually a pretty good. It's President Jack Neal, played by Ronnie Cox.
Oh, that's for Donald Glover, by the way.
Oh, okay, that's for Danny Glover. Okay. Murder at 1600 came out in 1997. Ronnie Cox at this point typically played the bad guy in films. He was Dick Jones in RoboCop. He was Cohagen in Total Recall. So he was like typically like the bad guy. And in this film, he plays a president who's actually a pretty strong president. Because it's his son, I think, is it his son who murders a woman in the White House or something like that?
I believe so.
And instead of like covering it up, he actually implicates his son at the end of the film, and Wesley Snipes is the FBI agent or Secret Service agent or whatever who's investigating the murder. It's kind of like a forgotten film at this point, but it's not a bad movie.
No.
So I would give Ronnie Cox a thumbs up, a yay.
I give it a yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is another fictional president who just goes by the word president. E.G. Marshall in Superman 2. I want to give him a yay because he seemed like a nice guy, but I have to give him a nay because he kneels before Zod.
He did kneel before Zod.
Well, he mispronounced it at first. He said God, and then it was Zod.
Well, actually, no. He has the decoy president. He has the decoy guy kneel first, and then Zod's like, no leader, no great leader would succumb so quickly or something like that. And then he like walks out. It's like, no, I am the president. So E.G. Marshall, Superman 2, he gets a nay from me for kneeling before Zod.
Agreed. The man gets a nay.
Nay.
No.
I got Danny Glover on here twice. Look at that.
I saw that.
President Fowler, James Cromwell in The Sum of All Fears, 2002. This is the Jack Ryan film where Ben Affleck played Jack Ryan, I believe.
Huh.
And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. It's
I
not
don't think I've watched that one.
Yeah, it's not great. The best of the Jack Ryan films was The Hunt for Red October.
Oh yeah.
Even though I really liked Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
The best one was the one with Alec Baldwin. This one it's okay. It's not bad, but it didn't have the same success as the other ones. And I think most people didn't realize that Jack Ryan was like a thing. He's like the
series of books.
He's the American James Bond, basically. So I'm gonna call this one a no contest because I don't really have enough information to go by.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Tell by the question mark on Kevin's screen there. This one I put down both names on the same line because it's one of those weird twin films that came out in 2013. So in 2013, you had two movies come out that were basically the same movie: Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down.
Yep.
Both movies are about the White House being overrun by terrorists and somebody having to come in to save the president in that film.
Wasn't that the plot of one of the G.I. Joe movies?
Probably. I don't know. Could be.
The guy that changes his face.
The guy that changes his face.
Yeah.
That would be John Travolta in Face Off.
No.
The G.I. Joe. The Cobra guy.
Oh God, I can't remember the guy's name. Not Destro. He's the guy with the metal face.
Not Destro. Zendar?
Xandar, something like that. Yeah. I remember I had the action figure. He would turn blue if you like put him in the sun for too long. I know what you mean. Like he would change his face all the time. Yeah. But in these films, you had Aaron Eckhart as the president, President Asher in Olympus Has Fallen, Jamie Foxx as President Sawyer in White House Down. I know in one of them, what's his name? Gerard Butler is the guy that saves him.
I believe that's when Olympus Has Fallen.
I think that's Olympus Has Fallen.
Maybe he saves both of them.
It's possible. I don't know. I know I saw one of these in the movies, but I don't remember which one I saw because that's how similar these two movies are.
I believe the one that you're talking about was Olympus Has Fallen because he had a couple ones after that he was in.
So there was Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Angel Has Fallen.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the Gerard Butler trio.
Exactly.
So I think it's the one with Aaron Eckhart, and I think that's the one I saw in the theaters. That's how similar these two movies are. I don't remember which one I saw. I'm gonna have to give a nay on both of these guys just because it's ridiculous that I can't tell the difference between these two movies. The last one I have here for our list of decent presidents, I'm not gonna call this good presidents anymore. I'm just gonna call it decent presidents. Is Robin Williams as President Tom Dobbs in Man of the Year 2006. This is a pretty good movie. I don't know if either of you guys have seen this one.
I have seen it. Isn't he like a stand-up comedian or an actor?
It's weird. It's weird because it was promoted because it's Robin Williams, of course. It was promoted as a comedy, and it really wasn't a comedy. It was more like a political thriller because it takes a very serious turn in the middle of the movie.
Yeah,
he plays a late night talk show host, sort of like Jay Leno or Conan O'Brien. And he makes a joke one day that he's going to run for president because he thinks he can do a better job than the current president.
Mm-hmm.
And so he runs as a joke. But then due to some sort of like technical error with this new voting machine that they were using, he gets nominated president and is president for a short time until they kind of, figure out that the voting system didn't work and they have to redo the election and all that stuff. But he turns out to be like a pretty good president, even though he's a comedian. But I say that it takes a very weird turn because at one point, Laura Linney's in it. She plays the person who kind of figures out that there was an error with the system, and so they send like assassins to try to like kill her. And it's like, where did this come from in this movie? I thought it was supposed to be a comedy.
Well, that's the natural, progression of things. You found out the government secret, so now you have to be executed.
You have to be executed. But it's like, it was billed as a Robin Williams comedy. And then you watch it, it's more like Good Morning Vietnam, and the fact that it starts out kind of funny and then takes a really sharp dramatic turn.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely not as good as Good Morning Vietnam.
No.
Although I would definitely vote for Robin Williams as president, no matter what character he plays.
And again, not to get political or anything, but we've seen comedians become presidents and how good of a president they've been for their country as of lately. So,
who's the
I'm making a Ukraine reference.
Yeah, wasn't he like a talk show host or something?
He was a comedian.
He was a comedian. He had like a late night talk show or something like that.
Yeah. And then he got elected. He went for office, got elected, and
told Russia to
son of a bitch is shoulder to shoulder with his people. So
yeah, maybe we should vote for a comedian.
Yeah.
Lewis Black in 2024. And then I have dishonorable fictional presidents. First one I have on here is Kevin Spacey as Frank Underwood in the Netflix series House of Cards, and I mainly put him on there. Not so much, the character he plays on the show as an underhanded, rotten human being.
Yeah.
But I mainly put him on there for
as an underhanded rotten human.
And that's the thing. I mainly put him on there for the personal issues that led to him actually being fired from the show that he was the star of. It was a pretty good show, and he's really good in it. But it's kind of hard to separate the man from the character after you find out like what he did in real life. Next one I have on here is Chris Rock as President Mays Gilliam in Head of State. And I put down here, it's a typical farcical comedy in which somebody becomes president who has no reason to be president.
Yeah.
And it's kind of similar. It's similar to the Man of the Year one where he plays like a comedian who jokingly runs for president, but then somehow wins.
Right. It's like voting for Bodie McBoatface.
Oh, that would be the same as number 3, President Wrathcock, which is Charlie Sheen in Machete Kills. He basically plays Charlie Sheen as the president.
Well, his dad was president. Why can't he?
Why can't he be president? That's like it would have been like Roger Clinton becoming president after Bill Clinton. That's it.
George Bush and George Bush.
Just the name alone is a joke itself. President Wrathcock.
Yes.
President Marcus Robbins. This is Mark Cuban, best known as owner of the Dallas Mavericks and one of the hosts of Shark Tank, plays president in the film Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no.
I think you've given that enough credit now, so we move on.
A Shark Tank host playing president in a Sharknado film, I feel, is self-explanatory.
Agreed.
The next one is, have you ever seen Idiocracy before?
Yes.
I have not.
I mean, it's actually not a bad movie. It's kind of funny. But like, yeah, this is not the guy you want as president. This is Terry Crews in Idiocracy playing President Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho. Who's basically the lead idiot in a nation full of idiots.
It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
Basically, Terry Crews playing every Terry Crews role as president of the United States. And then there's actually like, you can actually do like a tie on that because Luke Wilson becomes president at some point too.
Oh, that's right.
President Jack Cahill, which is Cliff Robertson in Escape from LA. His presidency leads to the apocalypse. Escape from LA, not the best John Carpenter film.
Escape from New York was better.
Escape from New York is definitely better. Escape from LA is very campy. And then Kevin James as President Will Cooper in the 2015 film Pixel. Adam Sandler and Kevin James were in that film. That's all I need to say about that.
And that's why I probably haven't.
I'm a little shocked that those two shared that film together. You know.
Oh yeah, it's not like they haven't done 8 films together already.
Oh no.
And then I'm going to finish this off with my special mention: Mel Brooks as President Scroob in Spaceballs, 1987.
I'm
surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes.
Well, tell me my ass was this big.
That's Dark Helmet. Oh, did you guys see? There's a meme online I saw on Facebook the other day. It was one of the reporters in the Ukraine, and he was like the skinny guy with glasses wearing this giant army helmet. And
yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Dark helmet underneath it. Now, Mel Brooks is President Scroob. Why are you calling me on this wall? This is an unlisted wall. Why are you telling me something? Tell me my ass was so big.
I don't know about this beaming stuff.
Next time I'll walk. Yeah, like when he first introduced him and he's running onto the bridge of the ship and he's like, "Ship's too big. If I walked, movie be over."
It's the same combination as my luggage.
And they look at each other real quick. It's kind of combination an idiot puts on his luggage. Oh man, Mel Brooks.
Gotta love it.
He's another one. Like when we did our Mount Rushmore thing, I'm like, man, I should probably put Mel Brooks on my director Mount Rushmore, but I don't know why I didn't.
You're voting for Mel Brooks.
I had to make room for John Ford, Steven Spielberg,
Martin Scorsese,
and John Carpenter. So let's revisit our drinks tonight, gentlemen. Michael did a oddball thing for himself, as in drinking breakfast beers.
The maple oatmeal was very good. The coffee, I'm not a big coffee beer drinker, so it's okay. You guys will probably really like it.
I mean, it definitely sounds like something I would enjoy.
Yeah, me too.
Kevin, you're drinking
the big breakfast. I feel like I just finished a Saturday morning. Very good. Very good.
And I am, as I said, I'm drinking the Off the Beaten Path Pathfinder Farm Distillery Brew Shine, which is a moonshine with hops. So it has a beer-like taste to it. It is 90 proof. So like I took a shot of it earlier and I hadn't eaten dinner yet, and it's like I took a shot and like 2 minutes later I was like, oh crap, I gotta eat something.
Yeah, I don't buy weak moonshine, man. Come on.
And so that's why I am drinking it on ice out of my red Solo cup because I can't think of anything more American than that. So So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight for episode 51, our belated President's Day extravaganza, where we talked about some of the good presidents, some of the bad presidents. Just to kind of recap here, Bill Pullman is yes. Morgan Freeman is a yes. Billy Bob Thornton is a no. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is a no contest. Peter Sellers was a no. Dennis Haybert was a yes. Kevin Kline was a yes. Harrison Ford was a definite yes. Martin Sheen was a yes. Michael Douglas was a yes. Jack Nicholson was a no. Danny Glover was a no. Ronnie Cox was a yes. E.G. Marshall was a no. James Cromwell, we didn't have enough information for. Aaron Eckhart, Jamie Foxx were a no. And Robin Williams was a yes.
So we're saying they were yay, nay, and
Yeah, nah, yes. No, 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 yes. No.
we don't talk about Bruno. No.
No. Yes. So next week, episode 52, we are going to be introducing a segment that we are hoping will become a recurring segment on the show, Forgotten Films of Our Youth. So next week, each one of us is going to bring a movie to the table that is a movie that we loved when we were kids, that you really don't hear much about anymore. It's kind of a forgotten film, a film that has been lost to time, but we are going to revisit them some point in the future. So we're going to do this next week. If it turns out to be a pretty good episode, then it may become a recurring segment where every now and then we will do some forgotten films of our youth. So I once again want to tell you thank you for joining us, and make sure you go to our social media platforms, drop us a line, give us some ideas, give us some drink recommendations. We'd love to hear from people about that. You know, what would you like to do next week? Or like, what would you like us to drink on the show? Please, help us out a
How
little
much
bit.
do they want us to drink on the show?
How much you want us to drink on the show? We have a special beer episode coming up on April 7th. Mark that on your calendar. It's April 7th is National Beer Day, so we're going to do a whole episode dedicated to beer. But for next week, episode 52, Forgotten Films of Our Youth. Thank you for joining us here at the crossroads between pickled and fermented. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the episode as much as we enjoyed recording it for you.